Well, hello.
So you had a good weekend?
Yeah, my husband's doing great. Lots of relaxation, lots of exercise, some work.
Okay, good.
What about you?
Normal. We're back to normal. I got poked today. I got my second microchip installed this morning. But my cell phone, it doesn't have better reception. I was hoping that I would have better reception of my cell phone if I held it in the arm where I got the shot, but I guess that's not happening. Maybe I need a 5G compatible phone.
I just got one. I'm very excited.
Very nice. It's always nice.
I've got the 12 mini.
Oh,
super excited.
Very, very fancy. Very fancy.
So I think the theme that's been running through really since we started recording is obviously this market, this very intense market. And we talked about last week the crazy stats for Q1. And we've talked about buyers agents being the heroes and, the poor buyers that are being left in the dust. And we've talked about celebrating, this is a good time for many sellers. However, it's not an easy market to navigate for so many sellers, just like so many buyers,
right?
Because there's complications. There's complications, which is leading to the lack of inventory. So I feel like there's sort of this neglected group here. Everybody just assumes, oh, sellers are all good, but there's like, that what was the cargo ship that got stuck in the Suez, the Ever Given? Yeah. That's kind of what's happening right now.
So we've got a clogged canal, is what you're saying.
We've got a clogged canal, and it's clogged with stuck sellers. Not just too many buyers. Everybody just focuses on the too many buyers, but there's too few sellers because they're stuck for many reasons.
One of the things that is keeping people who would otherwise sell on the fence is the lack of options that they perceive as they look at the market. There's a certain, let's face it, there's a certain percentage, if we really admit it, of sellers who sell only because they found a house they'd rather live in.
Oh, yeah.
So that slice of the market's gone.
Yeah.
Found a house we'd rather live in, so we're going to sell this house. They said they'd wait for us. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. No one wants to wait for you. They don't need to wait. Why would I wait if I didn't need to wait? So then there's more sellers who are just, they haven't found their dream home as a reason for selling, but they would organically sell at this time of life, and they remain on the fence because they really don't see any options out there. And this is sort of the opposite of how I acted like a grief counselor in 2010 and 11 when people were saying, I could have sold at the height. Why didn't I sell in 2005? And the answer was, yeah, but you presumably would have continued to live indoors and you would have overpaid for your next place. So what are you worried about?
Right.
And that has actually helped. So there is a concern about overpaying for their next place. There's a concern about, I've refinanced into a low interest rate. But there are options. I mean, if you'd like to sell, if you would like to downsize, and your only reason for not selling is that you just don't see anything out there, there are options. I mean, there's things that we can do, but you need to talk to a broker who can, help with this sort of thing.
Well, absolutely.
I might know one or two.
And so if you knew a broker that could help a seller who is circling the drain unsuccessfully at this moment, what do you think that broker would do differently?
Okay. Well, this is how I think we should, we meaning the industry, should coach our agents. So buyer agents right now are frustrated because when they hit enter on search on the MLS, there's not a large selection of stuff. Okay, fair enough. And that's true. So when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So what will you do to expand your inventory, your offerings to the folks? Well, there's a lot of for sale by owners out there who maybe don't want to list for one reason or another because they think this is their window of time. But we all know that a for sale by owner, is often 9 times out of 10 is going to end up listing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And after the first hang up phone call or whatever, if an agent calls them and the numbers can get worked out, then that's inventory. They're open listings for sale by owners. Most for sale by owners are not in it to avoid agents so much as they are to try and save some money. So let them think they're saving money. I'm for that. I don't know that they will or they won't. I think our commission is a line item in a larger pie. And I would say that, for example, my latest listing, my commission was paid for and then some. So buyer agents should be looking for listings. They should be talking to for sale by owners. Here's a thought. So hopefully, if you're an agent out there, you know what AI is. Hopefully, you have some sort of a database of people that have inquired in the past. And AI plus database should every week, perhaps depending on the size of your database, every day, give you an idea of who might be looking at moving sometime in the next 60, 90, 120, 180 days.
Yep.
There's some people that don't want to go on the market, but you know what? If you had 5 or 6 buyers that are looking for a house just like theirs, they'd be willing to let you show them.
Yep.
That's 2. That's 2. There is I don't like the term shadow inventory because it's already been taken, right? But there is sort of an unlisted number of properties out there. They are not on the MLS, but the owners would sell if the stars aligned. And it's our job to make the stars align, right? But the database thing is no small thing. I've seen agents come into this brand and fail because they didn't manage their databases. We had an agent leave recently, very accomplished agent, and there were 39 people in their database, 20 years in the industry, 39 people in their database when I went to do the post-mortem on their leaving the firm. I mean, that's like having this enormous, that's like being thirsty and having this enormous faucet that you don't want to turn on.
I was going to say, this is probably an agent who's actually afraid and mad at Zillow, but Zillow is just doing what it's an agent's job to do. And so one of the most important reasons to have a broker that you have a personal relationship, and here's why having a human being manage a database as opposed to a computer or a company manage a database, is that that broker has personal relationships with these people who have personal relationships with other people. And that goes out further and further. And these qualified good agents will have people with feelers out for the needs of their buyers. And that just do the algorithm, right? But it's human, it's human touch, human connection, human contact with the database that makes a difference.
Right. So there is
coupled with the AI.
Right. You can also not use AI. You can just use, real intelligence. You can use the phone. Now, there is a moratorium on cold calls, but there's nothing that says you can't call your database. So we know a really super successful agent. We will not say her name because she works for a competitor, but she claims that she rotates live phone calls with her database continually, no matter what time of year it is. She's on the A's today. Tomorrow she'll be on the B's. This week, next week she's on the C's. So, you can call your past clients and you don't have to be like, do you want to sell? You can just be, how you doing? And
but in turn, if you don't have a broker, if you're a seller who's clogged, what are we calling it? Stuck in the Suez, then you need a broker who's doing these things. It's not the MLS that's going to solve your problems because you already know what's on the MLS. You can easily go to Zillow. You can easily go to Trulia and Realtor.com and find what's even coming soon. But you really can't find what's out there that is not potentially ever even going to hit the market at this point because of one reason or another. but you need somebody who's aware. It's like the real estate black market.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you should avail yourself of all resources if you're a consumer. So if you are a seller, presumably someone sold you this house. And presumably you know a real estate agent. Now, you may not like the real estate agent that sold you the house, but you probably know a real estate agent. You probably know a real estate agent, either by reputation or personally, who you respect. So there's no harm in calling an agent and just teasing it out and seeing how many days do you think it would take my house to sell? I'm not sure if I want to sell, but can you give me a ballpark view of what my house would sell for? Some people just overdo it. They overdo it. They overthink it. Here's a good scenario. Okay. So, I'm thinking of selling. So I'm going to call an agent. Well, without seeing the house, they don't feel comfortable throwing a number around. Oh my God. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got to have a garage sale this spring, and then we'll get all this crap out, and then you can come. No, no, we don't need to wait for the flowers to come in. We don't need to wait for you to get for the planets to align.
This is the HGTV
corners.
This is what I call the HGTV effect. If my house is not a perfect shade of gray with black and white subway tile and blah, 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 then I'm afraid to put my house on the market.
Right.
And
right. You're not putting it on the market. You're just having a pro take a look at you. Like, I get that before you go to the doctor, you wear clean underwear. I get that, before you bring somebody to the house, you clean the sink out, clean the litter box. But you don't need to make the house a Vestal Virgin again. I
attribute that. That's what I was attributing
to TV.
The low inventory way pre-COVID that started a few years before COVID, I attributed to that. So then you take the confluence of, anybody who's just like, I don't want people, feels like Jenn used the big word, yay, in the right place and said it right, of the HGTV effect. And then you've got people who legitimately don't want strangers traipsing through their house, period.
Understandable.
And then you have the people who are afraid of that they're not going to find anything to buy. But what's there's one other thing that's holding people back that I'm going to see. I texted myself. Let's say.
You texted yourself? Maybe you want to download Evernote or something like that.
Oh, no, we said it earlier. No, texting myself is so much easier. You don't have to open another app. It's the best.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen. I have some.
What did you text yourself? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh, the bullet points. Oh, we just said it already. Not only are they afraid of what they can buy, they're just so afraid of overpaying and entering into this crazy buyer's market. Yes, they want to take advantage of it, but they also don't want to be a victim of it. So
right. Okay. Well, that's for sure. There are people out there, by the way, who have property that they already own. They have a house in Florida. They're already planning on building something in Delaware. There's all kinds of different things. There are people that have property that they do not live in that they have not listed yet. And the holy grail of this market is a vacant home.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not waiting for anybody to move out. All right. It's a blank slate. We don't need to get someone's okay to show it. We're not worried about, somebody being in the shower. Right. So
what their hesitancy could be, right? Because what we're trying to figure out is what's the clog here. Those people, there's just so many people that just may need an expert to kind of talk them through a couple of things, because they've got, I don't know about you, but I have so much more on my plate through this pandemic. I mean, look, it's been great. We're moving forward. It's, we're growing and everything is fantastic, but I've had more complications and whatnot, and people around me dealing with COVID related situations. And that's kind of where we're all at. So sometimes, even though I may be sitting on something very valuable, until somebody actually comes, grabs my hand and walks me through that process. So if you're sitting on something like that, and I think I wrote a summary that in Putnam County, I think you can safely say across the board, the average is at least 10% increase in a year.
Yes.
in your home value safely. And these are conservative numbers. I don't want to come out
numbers. We did these numbers last week. It's up 10%.
Right. It's up more than that. So I'm saying across the board, average about, right?
Sure.
So if you're sitting on a piece of property that is just like getting cobwebs, it's not income producing, it's not any of those things, or even if it is income producing, reach out to a broker that you trust and respect, because I'm not a big one of always trying to time the market. But when it comes to a second home or something that's not hugely impacting your personal life, you should try to time the market.
Yep. Putnam's up 16%.
Yep. So that's why I said across the board for an average safe is to say everybody's up 10.
All right. So it's safe to say that if you.
But by the way, in case you're wondering, I'm on a cleanse.
Oh, are you really? I'm doing Splendid Spoon, but I haven't.
It's not Capri Sun. It's cleanse. It's juice cleanse.
I'm having extra electrolytes because I had my COVID shot today.
Good.
So.
Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So. With anything that is you don't have figured out, you should talk to an expert. You understand? Okay. So I have a pain in my Zorch. I talk to a doctor. Okay. I need a new toilet. I talk to a plumber. I'm not going to buy a new toilet and install it myself. Okay. I've gotten estimates on different things, on a generator, all kinds of things. If the real estate market is a mystery to you right now, if you know prices are up, but you don't know about the rest, then you should talk to an agent, because an agent can give you an idea of what your options are, what your time frame can be, and partner up with you in developing a plan. And frankly, anybody that tries to time the top of the market is just like those people that tried to time the bottom of the market 10 years ago. And it's a silly game to play because it interferes with your life. You're interfering with your own life at that point. Okay. So if it's more important to you to have a decimal point in a certain place than to make sure your 10-year-old kid is not sleeping on the couch, as I had happen once, so your kids, you can afford to give your kids their own bedroom. Yeah. This long story, just crazy guy, wanted to just, time it as such, and he was living in the city in a tiny apartment with 2 kids, and it was crazy. So you should talk to an agent and figure out the plan. Now, if the agent is going to be like, okay, let's list your house, we'll talk, it'll be fine, don't worry, then that's not the agent you should be talking to. Thank you very much. Talk to another agent. There are good agents out there who will tell you what the facts are on the ground, and if you collaborate with them, you can create a plan. But don't interfere in your own life based on what you're watching on MSNBC or Fox Business Channel or something like that. Figure out what the local circumstances are, what the local market conditions are from a pro. Always talk to an expert.
Also, if your broker is not approaching things from this, like when I speak to anybody who is a real estate owner, I always start with, half the battle is owning real estate. That's what everybody's trying to do. So we're already there. So you should weigh these options carefully, because, building a real estate portfolio is a dream of many people. And if you have somebody who already has 2 homes, this is an opportunity to not just get one transaction, but to literally consult somebody into a true real estate portfolio. If you've given them the options of property management and perhaps short-term rentals and whatever, all the other options that are out there for people. So you will take that one meeting and turn it into a possible listing or not listing, and into someone who's going to come to you for life with their real estate needs.
Well, you reap what you sow, don't you? Right? So if you're the sort of agent that will give people your best honest answers, and you're not attached to getting a sale right now with these people, but you're more attached to making sure that you take good care of them and foster the relationship, then you will get a lot more than one transaction out of it eventually, and you'll get good feelings, and you'll get a referral source, and you'll have happy people who are, building their portfolio with you in a best case scenario. And in a worst case scenario, you're developing referral sources. Yeah. So you do reap what you sow. We do know sales trainers that everything is working backwards from getting the deal, making the closing. And we don't want to really recommend that people move unless it is the right thing for them to do.
Yeah.
But if you're holding on to a vacant property, or you're 85 and you're still in your 3,500 square foot house, and you're mowing the lawn for another summer because, you refinanced it to 2.9%, there's bigger pictures. There's other metrics to look at than just interest rate or, like that. So talk to an expert is probably the lesson here.
So you see this light shining down on me?
That is this divine affirmation of your.
Seriously, when I was a kid, you know how the clouds do that sometimes, and there'll be this like light. So I always thought that was God. So
right.
I'm going to take this as like a really good sign.
Okay. So you think you're being perhaps beatified right now in real estate?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just have the ring light thing here. So
I know. I don't.
That's all I have. I don't have divine.
And the chosen one.
You are. Yeah. Where's the reflection of the ring light? There we are. There's
there you go. Yeah. I gotta get a setup here. I don't really have one. I was working from my dining room for so long. So.
Yeah, I'm in the bunker. I'm in the basement bunker.
No. Yeah, I think we could sort of cover, and I do think that that's a neglected market right now. So if you're a property owner out there and you're kind of unsure what to do, reach out to us, reach out to your trusted broker, and get some answers. And hoping that we get to a little bit more of a balanced market, which I think we're a little less than 1 month in an absorption rate. And a healthy market is a 6-month absorption rate. And we have almost always experienced in this area more of an 8-month absorption rate for many, many, that's sort of our average. So
if everyone that was concerned about the inventory problem or is not listing their house because they don't know where they'll go, if everybody who did that just listed their house, they would have some place to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's a self-imposed embargo that feeds on itself. It's a vicious circle, as they say.
It is a vicious circle.
Right? So talk to an expert is the answer. That's the first thing.
Absolutely.
And if you can't find one, call us.
We better get off camera before I get seen sucking every last bit of juice out of my juice box.
Okay, well, enjoy your cleanse.
It's about that time of day. All right. Okay. We'll see you guys next week.
Happy Monday.